Okay, my friends, let's get started. Welcome to this Sunday School webinar. And if you're new, you're especially welcome. We welcome everyone, of course. If you are attending these webinars regularly, you know that these are for your help so that you can grow and change the way you think, get some ideas, get motivated, inspiration, and ideas to help you build your business. These webinars contains information which many people should pay a lot of money to get, but you are getting them here for free because you're part of Crowd One. And we do them every Sunday. And if for those people who are really smart, they attend every Sunday so they get the information. We also have a theme every time, and today is Plan Your Success. And if you attend these webinars regularly, you know that some principles come back. We talk about them many times, and they come back in different shapes, and they represent many ways of approaching a problem or an idea to, do something better than you've done before. So let's get started, see what we have here on our first slides. So, you know that we talk a lot about the mindset. Why we do that is because that's the only way to change. And that is to change the way you think. To think is to create. And if you were on the last webinar last week, you remember that we talked about choices. You make choices every day. And you can't go wrong because you will always get another chance. You will get a second chance and a third chance and a fourth chance, and as many as you like. That's the beauty of life. You will get a lot of chances. But those who are really smart, they try to get it the first time and to listen to an instruction or an idea and to put that in action. But the mindset of a leader, and that's the purpose of being in any business, that is to lead, even if you're only leading yourself. And we choose to show two ways of having a mindset: either fear or fight, flee or fight. And on the left hand, all the bad choices will end up in more fear and more failures until we make those choices on the right arrow. So this is kind of the theme that you will see come back again and again and again. And why do I talk about mindset at all, or mindset of a leader? Well, we talked about Maslow's success pyramid. And if you haven't seen it before, just make a short explanation so you get what it's all about. This is the philosopher Maslow. He came up with an idea that the meaning of life, because he was thinking a lot about that. Why are we here? What are we doing? What are we going to accomplish? And he came up with a thing and an idea, the philosophy that I think is great to use because it makes sense. And that is that every person on this planet, we're here to actually become more, become better. And by doing that, we're climbing these steps in his success pyramid. And we all start out in the bottom. Everyone does. And then we learn stuff and we go against our fear and we leave the comfort zone because there's no growth inside the comfort zone. And we grow, and when we're growing, we learn new stuff, and then we climb. We learn that there's more out there. And like the first time you saw a business idea and said, "Wow, I didn't know that there was so much out here, to do and to get and to accomplish." Anyway, so Maslow, he put it together in a neat little idea or philosophy that this is the meaning of life. This is for everyone, but not everyone is getting it because we're not trained. We're not getting the motivational classes in school. They don't tell us that we can fulfill our dreams when we go to school. They don't tell us that the purpose of being here is to help others and number one, help ourselves, and then we can help others. They don't tell us that. And school and society many times is trying to bring us down instead of pulling us up. But Maslow, he said, no. The purpose is to become better. And when we become better, part of this is actually financial and economics, because while we're climbing these steps, we will make more money, we will become more successful, and we will learn stuff, because that's, money is always a byproduct of who you are. So that was the short version of Maslow. So just so you get it. And, 100% of mankind start in the lower levels. And even if you inherit a lot of money, your daddy was super rich and you inherit the money, doesn't matter. You will not keep the money. They say that in 3 generations, you lose it all. If someone is multi-billionaire and the 3rd generation has lost it all, if you don't educate yourself. So it doesn't matter how rich your dad was or your grandpa or someone, because you will lose it if you don't educate yourself. Like Jim Rohn used to say, I love that saying, that statement, because it's so true. He said, if you make $1 million, you better become a millionaire fast, because otherwise you will lose it. Because money will stay with that person who have the mindset and who have earned it. That's the way. That's a law. There's a lot of laws and in the world, but it's a great thing, because when we all start at the same starting point, that's kind of fair. That's kind of a great thing. So we all start at the same starting point. So there's no one that can cheat. There's no one can get ahead, because there's no such thing. Some people do it faster, some people do it slower, but there's no way to cheat. There's no way to take a shortcut for success. And when you learn that, and when you get that inside your head, everything will become way more easier. So why are people not successful if it's so easy to do? It's so easy to follow simple instructions. It's also easy not to do. And that's where most people end up. They end up they don't do it. It's easy to do. It's easy to make a plan, to write a plan, but some people don't write a plan. And I don't know why. I have no idea. But that's the way it works. So success is actually, I will not tell you that it will be easy, but it's simple. But it's not easy. But to follow simple instructions laid out by someone, that actually became successful and to follow that person's instructions, then you will become successful. It's like building. You have a drawing of what you're going to build, and then you have a certain way of building it, and you follow certain steps. Same way, same thing here. But most people end up in the lower levels, and they will stay in the lower levels because it's so easy not to do it. And we touched this, I think, if it was last week or week before that, but we will touch it again. So information does not bring change in people. Conversion does. Because if information would bring change, you could attend one of these webinars and bam, you're a multimillionaire. That could actually happen for someone, but for most people, 99%, it doesn't happen. So information does not bring change, but when you put that information into action, that's when you bring change into your life. And we touch this, and we just go through this a little bit here so we stay on the path, and that is happiness and success contains in who you are, what you become. That's why it's so important to realize that, that expression, you heard it before, but I can say it again. It's not the end goal that it's the goal, it's the journey. The journey to that goal. So when you set goals, you want to have a better car, or you want to have a better living, a better house, or some extra money in your bank. You set those goals, and while you're working towards those goals, you need to do certain things to get to your goal, which means that you're leaving your comfort zone. You're doing stuff that you're not used to do. And that's a little bit scary sometimes, but when you conquer fear and you just do it, because what we are talking about here is discipline is the cure for everything. And you just do it. Then on your journey towards your goal, you will meet people and problems and situations and stuff that you never been in before. So you will be richer in life. And that's the whole purpose, because is who you are. As many problems as you solve, as many situations that you're in, as many problems that you solve, that is who you become. So your success and your happiness is never in a bank account, never in a car, even though it's fun. I take it, it's fun to have a new car. You smell the smell of the leather, and I had several of those. But we got to get down to the core, and that is, don't put your trust in material things and in money, because those can be gone in a minute. You should put your trust in who you are, what you become, what you learn, your education. And I talk about that a lot of times. And this one will come back again and again. Success is obedient to laws. There's so many different laws in the universe. And, there are mathematical laws, math. There are physics, the physics laws in physics. There's the law of gravity. There are natural laws. There are so many laws, but the laws are the principles behind everything. If you get the principles, you're getting the laws. And the principles, the laws will never change. They're always the same. That's why someone said, I'm the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Wow, that was pretty fundamental. So there's another law that's really important, what we're talking about today, and that is the law of use. Write that down. The law of use. The law of use is like this. If you don't use it, you lose it. Wow. So when you learn something and you don't use it, you will not gain from it and you will lose it. So you got to use what you have. Okay? Success is obedient to laws. Then we come into a thing that I talk a little about sometimes in other webinars, and you probably heard it because you all are professionals on these webinars here. But that is cause and effect. But it's so important if you're new and you're starting your journey, you're all fired up, you have the energy, you want to go somewhere, listen to me now. There's always a cause before the effect. There will never be an effect without a cause. So in terms of speaking in like a regular or natural language, that means you got to do something before you can have. So there's always a cause before the effect. The effect is your results in your business. But then before the effect, there will always be a cause. And some people, they don't realize that's 100%. This is a law. The law of cause and effect. So you can't break the law. It will never change. It's here forever and ever and ever. And it was here before you and me were here. The law of cause and effect works like this. The psychology of winning, I call it. You have a thought, and that thought could be, in our case, that you're working towards something. You have a goal, which you are writing down, and you look at it before you go to bed at night. You get a feeling, you take action or no action, and you will have a result. So you see, in both ways, it works, because it works for the people who say, I can't do it, or the people who say I can do it. Both will have an effect. Both will have a result. To do nothing is also an action, which will create a result. So the psychology of winning is realizing that when you're thinking the right thoughts, which is not, we started this webinar with the two arrows, left and right. So if you have fear in your thought, that will create a feeling, which will create an action, as the wrong action or no action, and a result. If you have fight or love inside your head, that you're worth it, and you're here for a purpose, and you now know Maslow's pyramid, and you have a purpose because you want to help your family or your kids or someone else. That will create a great feeling, which will make you take action and another result. So cause and effect is a law. So why am I talking about cause and effect? Well, it's because some people, they don't get it. They hear it, but they don't really get it. And that is, why are people listening to a webinar like this? And I can do like Jim Rohn says again. In one of my favorite quotes is that he's in front of an audience and he said, an apple a day. He said, an apple a day. You heard that expression. What's the next sentence? Keeps the doctor away. And then he says, if I tell that in front of an audience, thousands of people, an apple a day, which is so easy. You just go home and you eat an apple a day, which means that you will be healthier. You will keep the doctor away. And it's a saying, of course, so it doesn't contain all the nutrients, but if you eat an apple a day, you will be more healthier than the people who don't eat an apple a day. And then, how many do it? Not many, because it's so easy not to do. There is where the big thing comes in, the law of success, because the success is reserved for the planters, the people who actually do it. And when you start a business, or you read a book, or you attend a seminar, webinar like this, and you get some ideas, you will separate yourself from the pack. You will start separating yourself. You will start climbing in Maslow's pyramid. And then some people, they get, they think that, because they made a bit of money, or, they've been in this industry for a while, or, they're done, No, this is for life. What we're talking about here is principles that you do them, and you start learning, you get some knowledge, and then you put it into action, and then you continue for the rest of your life. Maybe not work as hard or as much, but you never stop learning. That day you stop learning, you're not standing still, you're going back. So what do I mean, and why do I have this? Success begins to separate you from the pack. Well, there's several reasons, because when you start something, could you clearly see that people start to, getting in, their nose in your business, or, they had an opinion, or, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Or, you present this concept to someone, and then that person doesn't join, but he has an opinion of what you're doing. Yes, because subconsciously, everyone knows that you are doing the right thing. Everyone knows that you're on the right path, but they're too lazy, or they have too big of an ego, or they have several other reasons because they not do it, but they know that they can, but they don't. So they have to tell you that you are a failure. Isn't that crazy? So we who do something, we are the failures, and the other people are not. The people who are not doing anything, they're not failures. But this is what media tells us all the time, that the people who do stuff are the failures, which I think is totally insane in my world, because you should raise a statue of a people who actually go out and fight for something, and create and help other people, and create inspiration, and lift people up. But no, that's why you never see a statue of a critic. They never raise a statue of a critic, and they shouldn't, because there's so many of them out there. So you will have critics when you're starting your journey. That's part of this. And as higher up in Maslow's pyramid, the more critics you will have. And what most people in the lower levels, and the people who stay down in the lower levels, doesn't realize, because they never got that information from someone. They never had a webinar to go to, and that's why we're here. Can you see this? That you're here for a reason. I'm giving you this information so that you can go out and help other people realize what it's all about, because these webinars, you can hear them for some pastor in the church that's really good. Most of them are not, but some is. Or you go to a success seminar like Jim Rohn when he was alive, or similar, or you buy a book like Think and Grow Rich, and you will get the principles in there. But most people, they don't come across, or they don't do it. So you have a task. We have a task, to actually help people to understand that they can do it too. And that is a problem. So success always begins with a problem. That's the first thing you should know, that problems is part of the equation. You probably know that by now, but success starts with the problem. What do I mean? Well, I mean like this. You don't have enough money to cover your rent. That's a problem. And that maybe is your goal to go out and do something. Or you have a family that needs some help, or uh, whatever. There's a problem, there's a void to be filled. That's where success starts. So why do most people quit, or they don't follow through, or they jump ship? What? Because they don't realize that problems is part of the equation. And that is what leadership is all about. So the first slide I started out today, mindset of a leader is to solve problems, is to be on the right side, the fight, to be in love, to be caring about people, empathy, discipline, taking action. And when we do that, some people will follow us, you know? Some people will go like, wow, I like that. Because everyone knows inside of themselves that this is true. This is the truth. That not everyone will follow you, not everyone will copy you, but they know inside themselves, because everyone has a soul. They know. So leadership is to be a problem solver. And I will give you this one. This is just a bonus in everything. And that is so you don't get into the wrong thinking, because success is never comparing you to others. Success is comparing you to you. It could get pretty negative if you compare yourself to others. Then you can have others as an example, but never compare yourself. Compare yourself to you, what you have done. If you did more today than you did yesterday, you're a success. If you understand stuff better than you did yesterday, you're a success. If you follow through what you promised yourself in your plan, you're a success. So success is never comparing yourself to what others have done. Success is always compare yourself to yourself and what you could have done. Wow. So don't be that person that think that you are at the end of the rainbow because you did a little bit. Always say to yourself, is this what I could have done, or could I have done more? Could I actually done some more? Could have made a couple of extra calls? Could have recruited a couple of extra people? Could have, talked to some more people? Could have write some more goals down? So success is compare to what you could have done, what you've done and what you could have done. That's the comparison. And so since we talked about cause and effect, this is easy to understand. Money producing activities. That is because we're all different. Some people, when they see a business like this, they say, okay, I will go home and I will make a software system where I can have control over. Wrong. And that's because that's how they think, and some people, we're all different. Some people go towards feelings, they make all the decisions based out of the feelings, They don't understand before the feeling comes a thought. So there's always a thought before the feeling. And some people, there are analytics, they want to analyze everything. That's why most successful people are the people who take action. They don't think so much. And they put the MPA, money producing activities. I'm not saying that writing goals is not a money producing activity, because it's part of the equation, but being out and showing people the business and having people on webinars is more money producing activities. So you got to focus yourself and see that if you put the money producing activities in your cause, bam, you will have an effect. That is not hard to understand. And that's why we have the system that we have. Because you can take people and you can throw them in the system, so to say. You can, put them in the tube, if this is a tube or it's a 4 steps or whatever you will call it, because it's easy to duplicate, it's easy to follow, it's easy to learn, it's easy to understand. And if you have a system, you should work within the system. You don't have to invent your own system. So, and I put the education as the most important thing in the system, but we don't spend the most of our time in education. We only spend maybe 15% of our time in the education, but it's the most important thing. But we spend a lot of time in the first 2 steps, this first look business presentation. We spend 80% of our time there. And then we spend 5% of our time, or not even that, at events. Nowadays, of course, because people don't meet in person as much. Or maybe it's getting better out there. So the system is to learn people, learn the new person who just got in the business, just started, to be in the money producing activities. And I'm telling you, the most successful people are the people who following the system and teach others to following the system. That will make a money producing machine. Those who are not successful are the ones who want to take care of it all themselves. Oh, I'm the leader. I will not follow anyone. That's called ego. It doesn't work in the universe. It will work for a while, but then it won't work, because you need others. You need others to help you on the way to success. That's the beauty of this business. And you will meet others. I'm not talking about cross lines, but I'm talking about people, above in the structure, so to say, or other leaders that, other leaders have connections with other leaders because they're on the same level and they talk the same language. So maybe they will help out, each other for certain reasons. But the system is to learn people to be in the MPA, money producing activities. There's the other important facts or principles, rather, the purpose of a system. That is that it creates stability. People have always somewhere to go. And when you have stability and comfort, you have people who actually are creating faith in something. Because instability is not good. And the system will work for you to work the system. There's information and news that coming in the system. If you're not in the system, you will not get the information or the news. So this webinar here is part of the system. And some people are not using this as a tool because I don't know if they're stupid or something, but it is kind of stupid not to use this Sunday school. When I started this business, I learned something, and it was a decision that I made that I was going to follow the instructions of my sponsor, and I could see that he was successful. So I kind of made a deal with myself. I said, if it's somewhere in time, or if it's now or never, I'm gonna listen to him and I'm gonna follow him exactly what he's doing. I'm gonna copy him what he's doing, because I knew if I copy him, that I will have some of his results. Maybe not all of it, but I will have some of his results, and that would be enough. So I made a deal with myself, and part of that deal that was that I should attend everything, attend all the trainings, all the events, everything. And I'm telling you, that deal I made with myself was the whole starting point for my success that I had, that I still have. So the system is to motivate, inspires, duplication, and it's a lot of more things. But the system is there, and it's so. If you just get this, that the system is a simple way to train others, and you don't have to do all the training. Isn't that something that's pretty neat? I think so. And then when you work in the system, you need to figure out, because you put people in, and listen to me now, it's not enough with signing one person up in right and one in left, and then you think you're home free. That is not how it works, because it's just the law. This is a numbers game. So you got to find your key people, and the key people you will find when you sponsor 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever, 50 people. Then the key people will show up. They will like flag themselves by the way they handle themselves. So who are your key people? Who are the people who are positive, outgoing? They take care of stuff. They show up and they say they should show up, and they are at every Sunday school and every training, and they bring people into webinars. Those are the key people. And those are the people that you should train. You should take them closer to you. And when you have your key people, find out what they're aiming for. What their deal is, with why they're doing this business, so you can help them reach their goals. Because your purpose is not to help you. Your purpose is here to help others. And when you help others, then you help yourself. And some people don't get it, but that's the way it works. And some people don't believe me when I say that yeah, I've heard that, but that's because they've never done it. They always work for themselves, and they will never ever succeed. In the long run, they will not. I'm telling you, because it's a law. So you find your key people, you find out their goals, what what their why is, what's driving them, and the material things, the goals that have been written down, and then you set a plan of action with them. You tell them, if you're going to have this car, wow, you need to bring at least 2 people, new people on every webinar that we're having, or something like that. What do I know? But you got to set a plan of action. The plan of action is going to be written down. People who not succeed are the people who don't write. They think they can have it in their head. They can't. There's no way. And then when you work with 2, 4, 6, I don't know how many key people you have, then you inspect what you expect. If you expect someone to fulfill their dreams and to work towards their goals, and someone's want to buy a new car, the car it's going to cost him, I don't know, $100,000, just a number, okay? And he doesn't show up on webinars. He doesn't show up on Sunday school. He doesn't bring any new people on to the webinars that are held. Then you can see that person is not going to reach his goals or her goals. So you got to inspect what you expect from them. That's leadership. And you got to hold them accountable. You got to hold them accountable because you made a deal. And I did it this way because I just copied what my sponsor did with me. And he said, if you're going to work with me, if you don't do what I tell you, I'm not going to spend time with you because my time is valuable. So I did the same thing. I have an example I can tell you real quick. When I started, my start 25 plus years ago in this industry was not the most brilliant start. I'm telling you, I had 100 list of people and I did 90 presentations. I actually didn't maybe did 90 presentations, but I called 90 people on my list and maybe I did 50 presentations or something, 60 out of that. Some people didn't want to see me or nothing. And you know how many people I signed up? I signed up 1.5, but it ended up becoming a half because the one, he was quitting on his way home. He called me and said, I quit, and I was like, what? I was in shock. I signed my first people up and my guy up. And on the way home, he called me and said, I quit. He quit before he even started. Anyway, so my success was not a success from the beginning. So I was really struggling. Anyway, I made through it and somehow I just came up with an idea. I should go to another geographical area to build there, in my old hometown. I did that. I signed 4 people up and then I signed 5 people up in another town. So, see, it's a numbers game. I almost did like 100 presentations and signed no one up. And then all of a sudden I signed 9 people. How many? That's almost 10%. So you can see it is a numbers game. If you just keep on, you will have success. But most people quit. They quit before even 90, 100 presentations that I did. Anyway, so this is my first event. And my sponsor tell me, you got to be there and you got to have everyone in your organization there because it's going to be amazing, And this was not one of the big events, like, thousands of people. This was only like in a small, kind of not even a bigger conference room who held like maybe 200 people. But for me, that was my first event. It was just amazing. I thought it was like, wow, it blew my mind. With the music and, the recognition and all the speakers on stage and all that. Anyway, before we came to the event, I had to tell all my people that I signed up that I had to be at the event. So I called them up in person, everyone, we have an event here, blah, blah, blah. You got to be there. It's going to be this and that. Blah, blah, blah. I did some promotion because I learned from my sponsor how to promote. And then I called one of my key people up that I just recently started working with. He signed 4 people up himself. And I say, hey, there's an event here. And this was like 300 kilometers from where he lived. And he said like, yeah, but that's, I can't spend a whole Sunday, in Gothenburg. And, that's way too far. And all the gasoline that I have to pay for. And, he started just talking about problems. And then I did what my sponsor did to me. So I said, okay, if you don't show up and bring your 4 people, I'm not working with you. And then I hung up on him. It took him less than 30 seconds. The phone rang and it was him. And he's like, okay. I see. I will come. I will bring my people. I will come. So you got to inspect what you expect. And if people don't do what they say, of course you give them a chance, but you can't work with people who are wasting your time. Then you have to look for someone else because there will be someone out there waiting for your time, waiting for your leadership, waiting for the success. So that's the biggest mistake people do. They spend too much time with the wrong people. Yeah, it's the hard truth, but there you have it. And when you have reached, your people have reached some of their goals or part, that's why you need, long-term goals, and you need goals in between so you can celebrate. They sign their first 2 people up, you celebrate. They sign the first 10 people up. They make the first $1,000, you celebrate. Or whatever. You got to celebrate with your people. It's not all. Don't let everything be that someone else is gonna take care of that. Oh, the company take care of the recognition. Do it yourself. Buy a present for someone who's working hard and reach some of their their goals on the way. Go out and have a dinner with them. Do something nice. Celebrate. And now we're in December. So this is the end of the year. This is where we pick the pace up. We don't slow down. We don't buy into that myth that, it's so much now, holidays is coming up and whoa. No. Now is the time to pick up the pace, to go for the awesome finish of the year. So December has always been my greatest month. Why? Because my sponsor taught me that from the early beginning. He took me aside at a presentation one day because probably he saw something in me, or he saw the key people, the key person in me, and he said, "Peter, I just want to let you know is that now December is coming up," and he said, "That's when everyone is slowing down, but not us. We're picking the pace up. We are working harder than ever." And I said, aye, sir, I'm in. So what I did, I worked like crazy. I worked even on Christmas Eve. I was calling my organization on Christmas Eve. I will not do the whole training here, but it created such an impact on the people I worked with, of course, but also for myself. I was doing short presentations on Christmas Eve. My mother and father-in-law, they said, "Are you going out working on Christmas?" Yes, I am. I had 2 presentations in town. Went in and did short. That's when back in the day when you did presentation in person on Christmas Eve. People thought I was crazy, but I'm telling you, I got crazy checks coming up, because that's what happened when you're a little bit crazy. You will get the crazy checks. If you're like everyone else, you will get everyone else's checks, the small ones. So today is the day you need to pick the pace up and plan for the upcoming event that we have, because you can't have $1 million business with a minimum wage work ethic. That's what you need to put in place as a leader in your organization. You got to have the right mindset. You got to have the mindset of a winner who are doing stuff not because people tell them to, because they want to, because they have goals. They want to change their lives. They want to fulfill their dreams. They don't want to be poor. Let other people have that. You are on a purpose-driven trip. And remember, people are not successful because of bad luck. It's just because it's so easy not to do what we are talking about at this webinar. That's why we need goals. We need goals for December. We need goals for the end of the year. We need to set some numbers. How many people, how many tickets, how many people are going to be at the event when the company will releasing new stuff, information, and everything is happening, and we have something to work towards. That's the biggest principle of them all. Doesn't matter what's happening at the event, actually, just that you have something to work towards. But you need those goals. You need to help your key people so they can learn to help their key people how to do it. And you see, this is how it works. When you have goals inside your head that you're working towards, they would create a great feeling. If you take away the goals there, it will become another feeling. So you need those goals. You need to put those goals down. And people need to understand what drives them. So we have the event coming up, and you work towards the event. You see, this is how it works. You have the event, you have positive thoughts, positive feelings, positive action, of course, because there will be massive action. There will be money producing activities in December when you teach your people what to do and they work towards the goals. They work towards the event. I don't know. Sometimes when I talk to this slide, the sound disappears. I don't know if that's happening now, but you got to show up with your team at the event. Because you need to understand that you are special because you're here on this Sunday school webinar. That's special, I'm telling you. Here is where we learn to go the extra mile, to do those things that other people won't do so they can't have what we will have. Wow. Write that down. And guys, just go crazy in December. Just go total nuts. And I will see you at the top on the other side next year. And you all will reach new levels. You all will reach some of your goals. And some of you will drive your new cars or whatever will happen. And we helped other people to succeed. We take our money, we go out in the community, and we help other people. I will have a special Christmas Sunday school when we're getting closer to the holidays, and that's what we really got to get into, how to help other people. Until then, be joyous, happy, and free. Most of it free, because that's what it's all about. And don't forget the prosperous. Be prosperous out there, and take care of yourself. Help other people, start working on your empathy and your character, because that is what lasts in everything. And when you do that, the best of your life will be the rest of your life, because, you're not who you think you are. You are who you think you are.